These days, the Armed Forces of the Philippines is busy dealing with issues, including the recent clashes between the MNLF and Abu Sayyaf, as well as an incident in La Castellana and Negros involving the NPA. On top of that, the election campaign begins next week. What is the AFP doing to ensure the safety of civilians and safeguard the sanctity of the ballot? Joining us on the line is General Emmanuel Bautista, Chief of Staff of the AFP. Good evening, General. Sir, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Sir, what is the current peace and order situation in the country, especially in Sulu? There were clashes between the MNLF and Abu Sayyaf. What are your orders to the armed forces stationed in Sulu on how to tackle the situation, especially in safeguarding our Muslim brothers caught in the crossfire?
You mentioned Sulu. Last Sunday there was fighting between the MNLF and the Abu Sayyaf.
Yes.
The armed forces, we directed our troops there to contain as much as possible to contain the conflict in a limited area, and that's what they did to contain the fighting and to prevent the spillover of the hostilities to other areas. And also, we assisted those families who evacuated the fighting, and we did this together with the local government and the PSWD. So that's what we're trying to do now.
So far, how is the situation right now?
So far, the only fighting that erupted was that of last Sunday morning. There were no resumption of hostility so far, but we remain vigilant and we remain watchful of the developments. That is unfortunate if there's going to be more fighting, because Sulu has been peaceful already for the last few days, and months. It's been quiet, and there's a lot of activities. Our farmers are heaping the harvest of their produce and selling it. There are many tourist spots in Sulu that has been developed, and that's the effort of the local government. There are many projects being undertaken in Sulu, farm to market roads, etc. And we hope that we are able to maintain the peace so that all of these activities can go on unhampered.
So now moving on, with regards to the Bangsamoro Framework Agreement with the MILF, how is the ceasefire panning out and situation on the ground?
Ceasefire has been holding, and we are very fortunate that we have signed already a framework agreement with the MILF. And what remains is for the normalization process to take effect, and that is being discussed right now with the MILF. Both panels are discussing the details of the normalization agreement, and the armed forces will fully support whatever is agreed upon and to help in the implementation of the normalization.
So moving on, going back with regards to the recent CPP-NPA related incident in La Castellana Negros, what is being done so that the incident will not be repeated, and how do we ensure the safety of the civilians in the area?
Indeed, that's a very unfortunate incident where some civilians were killed in an ambush by the NPA. And we hope that the NPA abandons the armed struggle not to resort to violence, especially that innocent civilians are being involved. There are innocent civilians who are casualties. And we hope that the violence ends and ultimately the armed struggle is abandoned by our brothers. So that we can now support development efforts by our government. We need the peace and security to prevail so that development can set in. And we hope that our brothers understand that.
So we know that the AFP has been busy these couple of weeks, and now with the election campaigns beginning next week, what are the preparations of the AFP in coordination with the PNP and COMELEC, especially in areas considered as hotspots?
We fully support the COMELEC and the Philippine National Police. And COMELEC is the lead agency during elections, and we take instructions from COMELEC to assist them and the police in the prevention of violence and in the conduct of an honest, orderly, and peaceful election.
Sir, as of now, what is the situation in those areas considered by the COMELEC as hotspots? What are your orders to the AFP?
Our orders are to support the COMELEC and the police in the conduct of operations to ensure a peaceful election, and they're doing, supporting the police and taking instructions from the Commission on Election.
Sir, and finally, the modernization program of the AFP. What are your priorities in terms of the shopping list on what kind of equipment will be purchased first and in what branch?
We are very fortunate to have been given budget for modernization, and in fact 75 billion for the next 5 years, and most of this will be going to the upgrade of the capabilities of our armed forces to protect our people and also our national territory, and that is essentially mostly in the area of maritime and air to secure our interests in the West Philippine Sea.
So are there any particular equipment that will be purchased first? What are the priorities right now?
For the Army, it's force protection equipment, transportation, and also combat life-saving equipment, and assault rifles. For the Navy, we will have patrol vessels, and also for the Air Force, helicopters and transport aircraft. A lot of equipment for the Air Force, radars, and also maritime surveillance equipment, both for the Air Force and the Navy.
Okay, on that note, thank you very much for joining us tonight. That was General Emmanuel Bautista, Chief of Staff of the AFP. Thank you, sir.